What inspired you to become involved with Rook's textbook of dermatology?
Well, I guess that Rook's textbook of dermatology is iconic in not just British dermatology but world dermatology, and to be given the opportunity to edit such a prestigious textbook was one I didn't have to think very long about before accepting.
Great, and what do you feel are the reasons for the success of Rook's textbook of dermatology over the years?
I think it was one of the first really comprehensive textbooks of dermatology, and it still is comprehensive. It's written in a very accessible way, and people still want reference books.
And what do you think readers are going to get out of the new edition?
Well, out of the new edition, they're going to get as up-to-date as you can do with any reference book, information on not just an understanding of disease processes and how to make diagnosis, but also the latest in therapeutics and management of skin disease. So it's an evolving process, and all textbooks go out of date quickly, and I think with the modern age that's particularly the case.
And this edition has for the first time an online version which also can be used on mobile phones. I mean, how do you think that will make Rook's textbook even more useful?
I think it will really make a difference to Rook's textbook. Rook's textbook, as I've alluded to, is a heavyweight reference book. It's not something that you can easily transport with you, and nowadays online access is the way that certainly most of my residents who work with me in the clinic access their information. Is how I increasingly access my information, and to have it in that sort of portable, accessible manner is very 21st century.
Looking ahead to the future, I mean, how do you see dermatology evolving?
Well, that's a very good question. I believe that dermatology in the UK is going to be the same as dermatology in the United States. There's going to be this mix of medical dermatology, which is using new biologic therapies for management of psoriasis, for instance. It'll be increasingly dominated by procedural dermatology, and by that I mean not just the skin cancer surgery, which of course is an increasing part of a dermatologist's workload, but also the inevitable rise of what's known as aesthetic dermatology or cosmetic dermatology, and that will form part of most dermatologists' practice.
And what attracted you to dermatology to begin with?
I suppose that when I first did dermatology, which was as a medical student, it was the specialty that I found straightforward. I think I've sort of got that ability to pattern recognise, and which some of my medical student colleagues didn't have. So I suppose if you can tell the difference between psoriasis and eczema at an early stage, that's probably going to set you on the right path. You know? What I liked about it, it was very much a specialty that was dependent on your own inherent clinical skills, and still to this day and age is still not that dependent on instrumentation.
And so if you weren't a dermatologist, what would you be?
What I would prefer to have been would have been a professional sportsman, professional cricketer.
Cricketer?
Mm-hmm.
Batsman or bowler?
Bowler.
Bowler. Fast, spin?
Medium pace.
Medium pace. Fantastic.